Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, it is an unthinkable tragedy. 3 members of a family killed, hit by a wrong-way driver on I-75 in Oakland County.
The at-fault driver is also dead, and now all the families involved are trying to move on without their loved ones.
I was just talking to him last week and can't believe that they're not here anymore.
In seconds, a family wiped out, killed by a wrong-way driver.
I've seen this stuff like this on the news before, and never in a million years would I have ever thought.
Inside the van, a husband, Suriel Arguello, and his wife, Maria, and their fathers. The 3 men killed. Suriel and Maria have 2 children, processing this unthinkable loss, a 14-year-old boy and 8-year-old little girl.
She says that, her dad is in the sky, and that, she did tell us that they're all in her heart, so she's okay.
We're told when Michigan State Police made the death notification last weekend, the 14-year-old boy asked if he could go with them to get a job to now support his mom and sister.
It's disheartening because he's 14. He shouldn't have to be thinking about something like that.
Their mom, Maria, survived the crash. Her injuries from head to toe so severe she will not be leaving the hospital anytime soon.
The doctors say a month, but every day is a little bit different because sometimes we find something new.
It all happened last weekend off I-75 near 11 Mile in Royal Oak. Investigators say the 29-year-old that caused the crash, Adam Quillen, got on the highway the wrong way and hit the family on their way to the airport. Quillen also died in the crash. It's unclear if drugs or alcohol played a role. MSP is waiting on a toxicology report. His family just as stunned.
We suffered a loss, and just as they did. I mean, I know that they lost 3 people, and I'm so sorry to them on behalf of my brother.
Quillen does have a drunk driving charge and speeding ticket on his records out of Ohio. Meanwhile, the 3 men will have their services together and their bodies sent to Mexico for burial.
I feel like it's a tragedy that shouldn't have happened.
Well, there is not a funeral date set quite yet, but it will be at Verheiden Funeral Home in Clinton Township. There is a fundraising page on that website, and the nice thing is 100% of the donations go right to that family. If you are interested in donating, it'll be on our website.
Yeah, it certainly won't do much to bring anybody back, but to remember them and to help that family is the least everyone can do. Also tonight, a 6-year-old boy is dead in Madison Heights, and police are investigating this as a homicide.
2 adults are in custody, and neighbors tell us they are the child's parents. Police were called to Ackles mobile home community on DeQuinder Tuesday afternoon. When they arrived, they found the child unresponsive with several physical injuries.
I'm devastated because I'm a mom too. This is a tiny boy that was defenseless. He can't vocalize. I mean, he can vocalize, he can talk, but to know that you were scared enough not to be able to reach out of your home, out of your comfort zone. These are your parents that's supposed to protect you, and that's not what they did.
We're told the 2 people in custody are expected to be charged sometime this week.
Just came out and just started shooting over across the street about 30, 40 times.
2 years to the day since a mass shooting killed 2 people and wounded 6 others in Detroit. A man is found guilty of the crime. It was this day in 2022 when a party was taking place outside of Winston Kirtley Jr.'s home on Coyle Street. Someone's vehicle was blocking his driveway. He came out firing, hitting 8 people. Today, Kirtley was convicted of first-degree murder. He faces up to life in prison at his upcoming sentence.
I don't care how dark the world is, there's always a light. Everything that happens in the dark, it will come to light.
It took 6 years, but there is now justice for the murder of a 20-year-old man in Pontiac. Back in June of 2018, a blood trail led investigators to the body of 20-year-old Emilio Valdez at Osman Lake. It wasn't until 4 years later that 3 arrests were made in the case. It turned out to be a family affair. Angel Alvarez, his brother Juan Diego Hernandez, and their mother Guadalupe de Villa Rodriguez were all charged with Valdez's murder. Alvarez was sentenced today to up to 80 years in prison. His brother and mother accepted plea deals and will be sentenced next month. An alert tonight for residents in Redford. There may be lead in your tap water.
Yeah, this is important to talk about. The township sounding the alarm tonight. Redford's most recent round of water testing found lead levels that reached 16 parts per billion, which exceeds the government's action level of 15 parts per billion. This isn't new. Redford also recorded lead levels above the action level last year. The township recommends its residents use lead filters and to not boil your water. It will not reduce the amount of lead.
On this day of July last year, we hit our highest temperature for the month.
I imagine that. Will the heat continue, though, into August? Captain Rich Luderman has a look at our forecast.
The answer is yes, Roop and Jessica. Today we did make it to 91 degrees, so that is the hottest day this month. 91's pretty tough out there. Notice it's relatively quiet. It's warm and it's muggy, but all the big storms are cruising through parts of Kansas and Missouri into Iowa and Minnesota. Most of that is going to stay off to our west and south over the next 12 to 24 hours. There were some storms this evening up in the Thumb region, and there were a couple of spotty showers around this afternoon. You can see not much left on Sky Tracker there north of Port Huron, close to Lexington. Perhaps one or two leftover showers. Here are those highs today. 91 for us, 88 in Traverse City. Look at Milwaukee, 91 degrees, Toledo as well. And again, it's the hottest temperature we've had this entire month today. Check the numbers at the airport. 91 and 68, 83 and 64 the averages. They're the records. 96 and 48. Right now it's warm and muggy across the region. 71 Ann Arbor, 77 Mount Clemens, up in Pontiac, 77 degrees. There are the dew points. Still quite high, and that's why the humidity is not going away anytime soon. 82 Chicago, 67 in Pellston. There's Toronto, 81 degrees, Columbus as well. Watch what happens to the active weather that's to our west. It's going to churn in our general direction. There it is tomorrow evening at 10:30. Some showers and storms over Metro Detroit. And then Friday morning, some more showers and storms. But the heat and humidity start to go away for Saturday night and Sunday. You'll see that in the upcoming 7-day. There's the bullseye for severe weather. We're talking about Chicago, Indianapolis. Cincinnati has the best chance tomorrow to get those stronger storms. Still a stray shower chance. It's going to remain muggy tonight and again tomorrow. 88 for a Thursday high, and then right there is the 7-day. Temperatures are going to fall off into next week, but for the next few days around here, it's going to stay warm and muggy with spotty storms. Remember, always get the latest forecast. Check it out, the Fox 2 Weather app. You can download it for free right now or anytime in the App Store or in Google Play.
You worry that people going out to restaurants will tip less because they know that these people are, getting a lot of money.
I think once people understand this, the tipping will continue. But at that point, these workers won't have to rely upon tips.
A major ruling today from the Michigan Supreme Court reinstating changes to the state's minimum wage laws. The decision means tipped workers will be able to make the regular minimum wage in addition to tips. The Supreme Court said Republican lawmakers violated the state's constitution, watering down the new minimum wage law after voters passed it as a ballot proposal in 2018.
Well, tonight, a big endorsement for the likely Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris.
The UAW is calling on what they call the vice president's proven track record and is taking a stand against former President Trump. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin reports.
I like the UAW. I like Sean Fain. I support Kamala Harris. I think it's a really good idea.
Vice President Kamala Harris picking up the huge backing of the UAW. The auto union's executive board voting Wednesday to endorse her bid for the presidency, underscoring Michigan's important role in this year's election between Harris and former President Donald Trump. Many in or close to the auto industry are weighing in.
I trust that she'll do right by Michigan, and UAW is really strong, and we need good leaders like that.
I think she was of an unproven quantity because she was the VP and people didn't know that much about it. I think that in the span of a couple of weeks, she's managed to garner support from all kinds of sectors, from the youth to the unions to the high-tech folks. So she's done an amazing job in 2 weeks.
The UAW endorsement comes as a new Bloomberg poll shows Harris wiping out Trump's lead in Michigan and leading the contest here just days after moving to the top of the Democratic ticket once President Biden dropped his re-election bid after a rough debate with Trump and calls from top party leaders to step aside.
Hopefully that, she's she'll be able to beat him. She's raised a bunch of money, and so money is not going to be the issue. It's going to be message and discipline and people getting out to vote.
But the Trump campaign is pushing back in a statement to Fox 2 that says in part, quote, union workers in all the nation's working families are paying the price for dangerously liberal Kamala Harris's failed economic policies. Kamala Harris's radical electric vehicle mandate will destroy the livelihoods of countless U.S. auto workers while sending the U.S. auto industry to China. President Trump will reverse Harris's extreme electric vehicle mandate on day one and save the U.S. auto industry for generations to come. Meantime, despite the big UAW backing, many say it's way too early to tell if Harris will take Michigan and the White House after November.
She has a lot of people backing her up, so I don't know. We'll just have to see how this pans out.
Meantime, more news from the vice president's camp. We understand that she will hold her first rally with her running mate, yet to be announced on Tuesday in Philadelphia, and the vice president and her running mate will be here in Detroit as well later next week. Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Well, former President Donald Trump didn't care for the questions he faced today during a panel at the National Association of Black Journalists Conference in Chicago.
Things got off to a rocky start when ABC correspondent Rachel Scott began the conversation about the former president's past rhetoric.
You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir.
The former president's appearance has sparked intense debate within the organization and led to the convention's co-chair stepping down from her position.
Vice President Harris's campaign issuing a statement about Trump's remarks, saying in part, the hostility Donald Trump showed on stage today is the same hostility he has shown throughout his life, throughout his term in office, and throughout his campaign for president. Now, by the way, we're going to be talking about this topic coming up in just about 18 minutes or so when we start The Pulse, Detroit's only political show, at 11:30 tonight, following The Edge.